All right, so Legos is the biggest toy maker in the world. I think they make like 1 billion Legos a day or something like that.
You know what's great about that? Just think about it. Talk about sticking with your product.
Yeah.
Like, Mattel or the other that make a variety of toys.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Lego, like, we're going to make blocks.
They made $5 billion last year.
On plastic blocks.
They're working hard to make Lego more inclusive. And by the way, the Lego sets are outrageous. Now, there was a Lego store there at the mall that closed up. I don't know why. Probably because you know what they didn't have? They didn't have bricks. They had all the Lego sets. You could buy the camper. You could buy, the Star Wars stuff. You could buy waterfall Legos. You could buy all these different sets that were like $300-$400 a piece. And now they got artwork. They got like a Beatles Lego artwork, which is really cool. But like if you just wanted to go in there and buy a steering wheel or a tire, you couldn't buy it. I'm like, and now they got the classics, right? The Lego classics.
Like blocks?
And most kids Lego sets now are like puzzles. If you want to sit down and do a puzzle, but you can't play with it, you build it, it's done. If you break it apart, the pieces are only used for that particular toy. I got like a box of Legos the size of this room upstairs, and I can't do anything with them because they were part of sets, and I don't have the instructions, so I'm not going to rebuild the damn thing.
What? We used to grow up, you just put them together.
You did.
It's a creative process.
Now you can build anything you want.
What's wrong with our kids
Neighbor
nowadays?
came over yesterday, and she had Lego dragons. She built these 4 Lego dragons, and once you build them, you play with them, but they fall apart. The pieces are coming off, and then once someone steps on them and crushes it, you ain't going to rebuild it because the directions are gone. The books are like as thick as the Bible. Lego has vowed to remove gender stereotypes from his toys. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm in. How is this possible?
Okay.
Because they're bricks. After a survey revealed how boys fear they will be made fun of if they play with toys marketed for girls. Now, I don't, and I look at Legos all the time because all my kids love Legos. My daughter wants a Lego set for Christmas.
Okay.
I don't acknowledge the fact that there are boy Lego sets and girl Lego sets. I will acknowledge that there are some sets that I think are pushed towards boys because they're boy things, like a monster truck Lego set.
Right, versus what's a girl Lego? I'm not just familiar. Like, is there a princess Lego?
I gotta be careful here because I don't want to stereotype.
Yeah, no. But is there like princess Legos?
I'm sure there is.
Okay.
And I'm not going just based off the color of Legos because pink Lego blocks, they're pink. I don't care. It's a Lego block. If I need a block and the pink one's the only one left, the block is going in. I'm not going to go, all of a sudden my house looks gay or looks like a female lives here because I got a pink house. What? Legos is overthinking this. The Danish firm, the world's largest toy maker, says its products are primarily used by young boys. Mm-hmm. I was not aware of that. But it says it will now work to remove gender bias from its toys and push towards products aimed at both genders.
Okay.
This is just a marketing ploy. This is like, okay, what percentage of people of boys and girls use Legos? We're 77% boys, 23%. Okay, we need some more Legos to girls. How can we do this? Oh, I got an idea. Since this whole gender thing's and they're calling people they and there's gender neutrality and liquidity and all that stuff, I got an idea. Let's do girl sets now so we can sell more Legos to girls.
Are they doing that or gender neutral sets?
Bosses, the plastic brick toy firm, have heralded products like Lego Dots and Lego City Wildlife Rescue as the way forward.
Okay.
So boys don't like Lego City Wildlife Rescue. That's something aimed towards girls. They say the company, which built up sales of $5 billion last year, was working hard to make Lego more inclusive. It comes after a report by Gina Davis Institute on Gender in Media, set up by Oscar-winning U.S. actor-turned-activist Gina Davis.
I didn't know that.
Found that 71% of boys surveyed fear they would be made fun of if they play with what they described as girls' toys.
Yeah.
And I agree. If a boy who's 16 is playing with a Barbie doll, he's probably going to get racked by his buddies.
Well, hang on.
But Legos are already gender.
Stop. If a boy is 16 playing with a Ken doll, it's going to get like.
Well, no, you don't play with Ken dolls. You play with G.I. Joes.
Okay, let me tell you. If you're 16 and playing with a G.I. Joe, you're also going to get racked.
Commissioned by Lego, this is where the psychology comes in. Get ready. Commissioned by Lego, the report involved a survey of almost 7,000 parents and children aged 6 to 14 from around the world. It found parents were likely to encourage their sons. Let me read that again. It found parents were likely to encourage There's the problem. Their sons take part in sports or science, technology, engineering, or STEM activities, maths.
Right.
While daughters were more often offered to dress up, dance, or bake.
Yeah, I mean, this is why the whole thing about women in STEM. Yeah.
But other experts suggest that while girls are now being pushed to do more boy activities, boys are not being encouraged as much to take part in girls' activities.
Okay.
That said, as a result, girls were developing more rounded skills, but boys were missing out on skills such as nurturing.
Where
they're getting all this shit from Legos.
That's a lot.
A damn block this big.
I mean,
that we used to build. I used to build like a box.
And we put stuff in.
I used to build stuff used to look like that. It was nothing, but just because
it's
keep
interesting
it busy.
because everything you said is true, but that's independent of Lego.
Meanwhile, researchers at the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media found that while girls are becoming more confident and keen to engage in a wide range of activities, the same was not true for boys.
It's funny. This is why we have this problem, right?
Yeah.
This is what we can't. We're not nurturing. We're not good with feelings, and we're scared of pink blocks.
Parents are more worried that their sons are being teased more than their daughters.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Because of the toys that boys associate themselves with.
Well,
we like
true.
girls who play with stuff because they're tomboys and they're cool. She's so cool because we like girls that do boy stuff like this.
Metrosexual.
It's like the girl works up Express Oil Change. She's hot because she can change oil in a car. God, what do we do? What the
I know.
we doing? Come on, Legos. They're selling Legos. This is purely to sell stinking Legos
so what are they gonna
for the
do?
holidays.
So I don't understand what they're doing. Like, what are they actually doing?
Until societies recognize the behaviors and activities typically associated with women are valuable or important, parents and children will be tentative to embrace them. They're They're dumbing us down to the point where
that's yes. And what are they going to do?
They're coming out with sets of Legos that are aimed towards girls only,
like
to sell more Legos.
What?
Traditionally, Lego has been accessed by more boys with products like arts and craft lines. Lego Dots or Lego City Wildlife Rescue Camp have been specifically designed to appeal to boys and girls. She said Lego, which was founded in 1932, has grown to become the world's largest store maker, no longer labeled any of its products for boys or for girls.
Fine. Great.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Alongside sets aimed at boys, the toy maker has set marketed towards girls, such as its Lego Friend Kits. Oh, God. What in the hell are we doing? She also told The Guardian that the firm is now aiming to encourage boys and girls who want to play with sets that may have traditionally been set as not for them. I've never... See, and this is Lego's problem, because when we just had the blocks, we didn't have the sets, you built whatever the hell you wanted.
Right.
Right? Now that they're coming out with their own sets, okay, this set is specifically made to make this. And there's a direction book that's this thick, and your mom and dad are probably going to have to build it all day on Christmas Day like I do every single year. You are the one aiming these different things because you got pictures of girls playing with the girl stuff and pictures of boys playing with the dump trucks, right? It comes after Lego launched a rainbow-themed LGBTQ plus set in May called Everyone is Awesome. With no gender assigned to all but one of the figures. Okay, what's wrong with the other figure? What in the hell are we doing? What in the hell are we doing?
This is
pale, no, it gets worse. Pale blue, white, and pink. This is Lego racism.
Yeah.
Pale blue, white, and pink represent the transgender community, Josh. Pale blue, white, and pink represent the transgender community, while black and brown stand for the different skin colors across the LGBTQ plus community. The purple figure is the only one which has a specific gender, with a beehive wig. A beehive wig represents the fabulous drag queens out there, according to the designer.
Dang.
I mean,
well, no, okay. For all the bad, like Lego's going all in.
All members of Lego's LGBTQ plus community came by to tell me they loved it.
They have a drag queen. They have drag queen Legos. That's some shit.
Matthew Ashton is the vice president of design at Lego. Said, I was trying to be someone that I wasn't. It was exhausting. I wish as a kid I had looked at the world and thought this is going to be okay. There's a place for me because he's gay.
Yeah. You know what's so sad? What is
Lego's move follows the decision by Hasbro to make Mr. Potato Head gender neutral.
What's sad about that is it is when you sort of step into. It's one thing if you have, again, Barbie is probably a Barbie doll is a good example. You run the risk because historically Barbie was a disproportionate blonde white woman, right? So then, so you can acknowledge that. Look, Barbie doesn't represent a whole lot of society.
Yeah.
And so you get into, we have different color Barbies.
We wish you did.
No, stop. Different color Barbies, different proportion Barbie. You know that.
Yeah.
But what I think is interesting about Legos, and it makes sense, like you said, when it was just Lego blocks, before it was figures, they didn't have a problem. There was no problem because blocks. But as soon as they got into these Lego, instead of saying, you, Tony, make whatever you want with these Legos, as soon as they got into this set of blocks will make this, while they started creating revenue off of it, then they stepped into the doo-doo. Because now you're doing, again, you know what would be really interesting? So this would be really interesting. They're doing all that. I'd like to see them come out with the, what is it, Everybody's Awesome? I'd like to see them come out with a giant bucket with all the colors.
Yeah, yes.
And
even the drag queen clothes.
All the colors. And all, you'd have to do all. It'd be like super fireworks. All the colors and all the little attachments.
Yep.
Not seen as a psychologist.
And figure it out. Go build your thing.
Well, and there's see, this is good. I hope Lego's listening. You do that, it's probably a fortune because you'd have to get
$1,000 for a box of these Legos. Yes.
Right? And here's how you play. Oh, this is.
See, all-inclusive Lego set.
Yes, this is how. Oh, this is great. This will fly on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So, no, listen, because it gets into the whole creativity piece.
The West Coast Lego. Should call it the West Coast Legos.
No. So this is it. You have the giant bucket.
Yeah.
It's got all the colors.
Yes.
And it's got at least a decent representation of all the little attachments.
Yeah.
Okay. And the way you market it is, A, it's all inclusive because it's everything.
Sure.
B, it helps kids reestablish and develop the creativity. Because one of the things that we've done in society is we've crushed their creativity because now we said, look, here's a manual, make this. So this set of Legos is very different. And it helps your child, this is where the marketing comes in, your child will become more creative using this set of Legos than any of the things we've ever presented to you.
I love it. That now it'll never sell because we do like these new Lego sets. I'll be honest with you, I like the new Lego sets. My son wanted a Lego set. It's like a puzzle. You know, we used to sit down and put a puzzle, and puzzles are boring as shit.
Yeah, I remember.
But when you put Legos, there's actually directions, and so you know exactly. It's like building
a model.
Building a model, exactly.
Which bored me
and
to
so
death.
and so my son's got a model of Bryant-Denny Stadium that I gave him for Christmas last year, which he still has not.
Wait, Lego made a Bryant-Denny?
Yeah.
Do they make?
They make anything. You name it, they'll. I mean, they don't do special orders, but you can do. There's a stadium set kit now where you can do. I think
it can't be Bryant-Denny.
Yeah, it's Bryant-Denny Stadium to a T. It's
why
they sell the rights to
there's the L.A. Coliseum.
You can do the Rose Bowl.
That's okay.
Yeah, there's a Rose Bowl Lego set. Yeah.
Now, if there's a Rose Bowl, then there's got to be a Coliseum for the USC.
I'm sure there is.
Is there a swamp?
I'm sure there is.
Really?
Oh yeah. You can pull it. Now, I'll be honest with you, it may not be Legos. It's a company that's a spinoff of Legos that does it, but there are Lego sets. Listen, if you want to
There's knockoff Legos?
Yeah. If you want to do...
Does Lego have a trademark on the Lego?
I don't think so. Not on the brick itself. On their style of brick, the way it exactly looks. Because now there's so many different things with... Yeah.
I'm not in. My kids never did they did for a short period of time.
Yeah, but it'll take you like 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. It's one of those things where it's like Monopoly. You stop for the night, don't touch the board.
Right.
You put it somewhere where no one can touch the board. It's like, you mark your page. But I mean, these things are 200, 300 pages deep. They're fine. I mean, I would. But again, once you build it, you're done. And then what do you do with it?
I know.
And you got all these Legos.
That's what my dad used to do with getting me models all the time, right?
It's funny, though, because my daughter's 9. And I'm glad you brought this up. and my son's 14. And whenever we get a pet, what's the first thing she says?
Who, your daughter?
Yeah.
Is it a boy or a girl?
Is it a boy or a girl?
Well, that's
and I'm like, what does it matter?
Well,
and so I'm like, and
gender neutral.
But she wants everything to be a girl.
Yeah.
She's like, it's a girl. I'm sure it's a girl. And of course, my son, it's a boy. I'm like, dude, you're 14.
Do you pick it up and look?
Yeah, I pull up its little gerbil skirt and look underneath. I see a vagina and go, okay, this is a girl. This is a girl gerbil.
And the next one we'll get will be a boy.
But even when we got the 2 gerbils this last time, she wanted to make sure that we had 2 girls because we didn't want a boy and a girl because they'd have baby gerbils. And I think we got a boy and a girl, by the way. And so I'm like, why is it important? So when they're playing with inanimate objects,
right?
Like I'll have 4 fire trucks. Which one's the boys and which one the girls? I was like, they're flipping fire trucks, Lila. It doesn't matter.
She's discovering her gender identity.
Okay, and so she wants them to be girls. Well, so she's not. So she's good.
Well, interesting. And she's young, but so one of the things that we know, or we're starting to learn about transgender kids, is this is where you start seeing them. Or it starts coming out.
So if she wants everything to be a girl, what does that say about her? That means that she knows she's a girl?
I mean, at this age, nothing. I mean, he could be, because...
They will argue about whether a brick house is a boy or house or a girl house. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's a brick house. It can be both.
Well,
and I said, it can be a girl today when you're playing with it. It can be a boy when he plays with it. I don't care. It can change, right? If that's... But
Tony,
they'll argue about it for
Tony,
15 minutes.
Now you're confusing them.
Is that tree a boy or girl? I'm like, I don't know, Lila. It's a girl. Is that okay? Good. It's a girl tree. And then that's a boy tree. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's a tree. It doesn't.
Good.
And then I pull up the skirt and I go, it's a boy tree. No, I mean, it's like, so.
Because they're both, because they're establishing, and it's not establishing their gender identity. They're discovering gender identity, right? And it's not that they're discovering it, that it is now becoming important to her. Right, so now gender is important to her. Boy, girl, boy, girl. What gets interesting because of social change, and this is where parents just lose their mind. You see, now it's easy if it's a boy or girl. What if you say it's neither a boy or girl? Now you're confusing them, right?
And you are confusing them.
Well, yeah, but it's a truck.
Yeah,
it's a tree. Actually, do trees have sex?
I think they do. Well, you have to have 2 different. If you have fruit-bearing trees, you have to have a male and female. Yeah. I don't know. It is confusing them because
what's confusing?
The majority of us, 99.9% of us.
That's not 99.9%.
99% of us.
No.
98% of us.
No.
Yeah.
97.
Yeah.
No, I think it's about 5%.
Okay, 97%
95.
is 90. Okay, bacteria kills 99.9%. Okay, we're only 2.9% off, Josh, from killing everything. All right. So 97% is all of us for the most part. There are going to be some outliers and everything, but when you say you have a 97% chance to win, you're going to win about 100% of the time.
Well, first of all,
okay, so 97% means it's probably not going to affect you. But we feel the need to let them know that there are these things.
But the numbers are those numbers are not right. Because 97% of the population is not straight.
I didn't say straight. We're talking about they. We're talking about neither gender. We're not talking about straight. We're talking gender.
So binary gender.
Yeah, it's got to be closer to 99%.
I don't know.
Regardless, it's
majority.
It's not more than a majority. Majority is 51%.
Yeah, but
it's 99%. I can promise you. Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
We know 6%, and that's something that certainly we should be talking about because there's no doubt there's someone in her class that's gay.
Right.
They don't know yet. They're 9, so I don't know if she needs to know it now and confuse her with that right now. But I'm sure as hell not going to tell her at the age of 9, now, this could be a boy or a girl. She's going like, what? What?
Yeah.
You know? So when she's playing with Legos, they've got the hair and the heads.
That's fine.
And sometimes she looks and she goes, I don't know if this is a boy or a girl. Well, make it a girl.
But that's fine.
She's already learning based on hairstyle.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think the worst problem is, and I've seen this. We did a story about this. The parents are not going to tell the child what sex they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my little parenting thing. There are people in this world amongst us who live with us. Mm-hmm. Some are gay, some are straight, some are bi, some are gender gender fluid, some are transgender. You know, and you say, well, this never was there before. Sure, it was.
Well, it was there.
It just nobody would say anything. So as a parent, you don't have to teach your 9-year-old about all of it.
Yeah.
But as it comes into their world,
sure, absolutely.
like your daughter.
Okay, there's a big difference between things coming into your world and saying we need to have a class about this because this is going to happen eventually. Well, and they're like, okay, well it's not affecting me now.
Not at age 9. I mean, you get into things with sex education and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe that if you're educating people about sex, sexual preferences, and gender, if it's education. Right? It's education. You're not espousing to what it is. Then you should be teaching about this exists. You're not saying, again, well, I have a very strong view about this. You don't say you're gay, you're transgender. Yep. You're, you know, if the way I think about it is if you took a class in college, not gender studies, if you took a biology class, you or a genetics class, you would learn about that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But I do think you are fine as a parent to just let your child live, but don't you live in a world, well, I can't say that as a parent. You can live whatever world you want in. Yep. I get back to the same thing. If you're taking your kid to Hooters to make sure that they're straight, you're a dumbass.
Yeah, I agree with it.
That's the way. But you don't have to pre-teach them at age 6.
Exactly.
Here's all the things.
Because they're going to know about it eventually.
That's exactly. And when they start discovering
and I think in a better way to do it, you just make sure that you tell them, I'm not going to use the word tolerant because you can't use that word tolerant.
It is.
But make sure they're cognizant that we're all different.
I love that. That's another Tony.
And if Lego feels like Lego's got to have gender neutral, flipping bricks.
Think about gender. Think about Lego. I'm going to make two dad Legos. Okay, great. And this will be their baby Lego. Now, if she asks you how did they have the baby, then you can say either through adoption or surrogate.
Exactly.
But see, like we have those answers, and what I think about parents, here's the thing that, and again, I have strong views about this. Parents are like, well, that's going to screw my kid up. That's going to screw my kid up. Like even if you taught your 6-year-old, well, first of all, 6. Let's say you taught your 9-year-old about transgender and homosexuality, and
I told you I've already had the
homosexual. I know, but there's a lot of parents like, oh my God,
but she saw it.
Yes.
And then she brought it up to me, and I said, okay, I'll explain it to you.
That's right. But I'm saying even if you went one step further and you decided for whatever reason, you're going to tell them about all this. And parents are like, oh, my God, you're going to confuse them and screw them up. They're not going to know what to do. This is the thing. You want to be hyper-religious? God created, we're pretty resilient. You're not going to mess your kid up by telling them what exists in the world. No. You're not going to mess up. Now,
and you're not going to make them be that way because you're telling them about it.
Now, right on both sides.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay for your kids to hear about things in the world, and it's not going to create like this terrible, traumatic experience that's going to turn them into this whole...
Well, in a lot of cases, the parents are the ones that don't want to explain it.
Well, that's exactly. You're ready to go there.